I'm not here to read off a match report. I'm here to think aloud, react in real time, and pull apart what made Liverpool's 4-0 win over Galatasaray in the Champions League feel like a night you don't forget at Anfield. If you're here for the exact play-by-play, you'll get a taste of it, but what I want to unpack is the energy, the decisions, and the bigger patterns this game reveals about Liverpool's approach and European nights in 2026. First impression, this wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement. Liverpool flipped the tie in one leg, turning a deficit into a demolition under the lights. Dominik Szoboszlai starts the party, but the real story is how the team built momentum so quickly that Galatasaray never settled. My take here is that Anfield is still the drumbeat of European nights, and when Liverpool have rhythm, their pressing lines and movement become a weapon that outscores and outlasts the opponent. What makes this really interesting is how the goals arrive, not as a single miracle moment, but as a cascade of coordinated actions that reflect a culture of intensity and patient risk-taking. Let's break down the key threads, starting with Szoboszlai's opener. I'm seeing a pattern, a high-energy press that erodes the opposing build-up and creates a gap that the Hungarian playmaker exploits with surgical poise. My interpretation is that Szoboszlai isn't just aiming to score, he's orchestrating the moment Liverpool can breathe again after the away leg pressure. From my perspective, the goal signals a shift in psychological tempo. Salah and company aren't chasing the game anymore, they're chasing control. Next up, the second goal from Hugo Ekitike. Here's where I think posture matters. Ekitike isn't just finishing, he's offering himself as a mirror for the team's attacking spine, a reminder that Liverpool can diversify their routes to goal. What many people don't realize is that a striker's movement off the ball can unlock space for others even when you're dominating possession. In my opinion, Ekitike's presence stretches the defense and buys Szoboszlai the room to operate, creating a domino effect that makes the third and fourth goals feel almost inevitable. Then Gravenberch adds a layer of variety. This isn't just the midfield controlling tempo, it's Liverpool injecting different tempo profiles into the game. Gravenberch's goal signals a flexible engine room, where different players can slot into the same high-pressing philosophy without sacrificing balance. One thing that immediately stands out is how Liverpool's collective press is not a one-note shout, it's a chorus where each musician knows when to drop back, when to push, and how to cover for gaps that appear during transitions. In my view, that adaptability is what makes European nights possible even when the opponent tries to disrupt you with clever counterpressing. Mohamed Salah's finish caps the night with a precision that says, "We've learned the lesson from the first leg, and we're executing with clinical clarity." What this really suggests is that Liverpool's attacking language is evolving. It's not just attack, attack, attack anymore, it's a curated menu of attacking shapes, with players interchanging roles and finding pockets that suit the moment. From my perspective, the Salah goal is the exclamation mark on a performance where Liverpool's attacking philosophy matured under pressure and a real-time tactical read of Galatasaray's adjustments. Let's widen the lens. This game underscores a broader trend in elite football, the value of speed in multiple dimensions. Not just raw sprint speed, but rapid decision-making, rapid transitions, and rapid adaptation to the opponent's pressure. A detail I find fascinating is how Liverpool leverages behind-the-backline runs and diagonal switches to keep the defense guessing. What this really reveals is that modern European football rewards cognitive speed as much as physical speed. If you take a step back and think about it, Klopp's team is teaching us that tempo management, knowing when to accelerate and when to reset, can be the dividing line between a good performance and a historic one. Deeper insight, the night isn't just about the 4-0 scoreline. It's about how a squad handles the emotional math of a knockout tie. The away leg put them on the edge, turning the tie requires a blend of swagger and discipline. What this suggests is that Liverpool are building a culture where pressure becomes fuel. The players aren't panicking at setbacks, they're recalibrating, feeding off a stadium's energy, and transforming nerves into kinetic performance. A lot of people underestimate how much a club's environment, the fans, the tunnel rituals, the "we've been here before" familiarity, can tilt a game in a knockout environment. In my opinion, that environment is a tactical asset almost as valuable as any formation tweak. Now, let's connect to the bigger picture. This kind of performance tells us something about squads that want to win in Europe consistently. You need depth, flexibility, and a shared language of pressing, movement, and finishing. Gravenberch's contribution signals that the midfield is no longer a single archetype, it's a mosaic where different players can express themselves within a framework. What this means for the rest of the season is simple: Liverpool aren't a one-trick pony. They're an adaptive organism, capable of morphing to counter a variety of opponents while keeping their core identity intact. As we close, a couple of reflective takeaways. First, nights like this remind us that glory in Europe is as much about how you respond to adversity as it is about the moment of triumph. Second, the game demonstrates the power of squad depth to sustain a high-intensity approach across multiple fronts. Third, it raises a deeper question for fans and analysts: how many teams can calibrate urgency, creativity, and discipline into a seamless, almost improvisational performance? If you've got a take I haven't hit yet, drop it in the comments. Do you think this Liverpool side has found a new identity that can carry them through the knockout rounds, or is this just a peak moment? Personally, I think we're witnessing a transitional phase, the kind of season that defines a chapter in a club's history. What makes this really interesting is watching how the team responds to future challenges with the same composure and tempo they showed here. From my perspective, the trend is clear: clubs that marry high-intensity pressure with intelligent rotation are the ones who thrive in Europe over the long haul. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, consider subscribing for more reaction and analysis takes, where we dissect the why behind the results, not just the scoreboard. And if you've got a moment, tell me which moment from the match you found most revealing and why it matters for Liverpool's season ahead.